Good morning students, I welcome you all for the online class of economics. Today after so many days revisions, we will be starting the term 2 portion again. We will be going to start the new chapter from IED, that is chapter number 7, that employment growth, informalization and related issues. In this chapter, I will be going to explain you how the trade is done between the nations. So employment growth, informalization and related issue is a chapter in which we will be learning the past history of our country, how the employment growth has been taking place in our country, because we know the past that employment opportunity cannot be thought of because industries cannot be set up in our country. As a basic reason was financial crisis by which the people were suffering. So because of that situation, how the employment had taken place and how it has been growth and how informalization and related issues has been taking place. In this chapter we will be going to learn why do people work, the basic concept, size of workforce in India, rate of participation in India, self-employed and hired workers in India, occupational structure or distribution of workforce by industries, jobless growth, casualization and informalization of workforce, and many more topics. Let us proceed with one by one the topic introduction. Why do people work, student? People work. Work plays an important role in our life as individual and as members of the society. It is clear from the following points. People work for earning a living which helps them and their families to survive. Employment gives feeling of self-worth and self-esteem. Every working person is contributing to national income and development of the country. These three lines state the student why do people work. People work to get a earning, that is very important for living a life. Second thing, to get self-respect in the society, because if we have not doing anything, we are nothing for anyone. That is the definition of ours of self in terms of money. So for that also people must work. They will give a feeling of self-worth. They can respect themselves and they will get respect in the society. Every working person is contributing to national income. Definitely per capita income will join and form the national income of our country, and all these 3 points constitute and says that people must work. So this chapter is related. If people must work, then how they must get the opportunity to work, what the way they can do the work. So let us proceed with the chapter. Basic concept, student. Worker. A worker is an individual who is doing some productive employment to earn living. Gross domestic product (GD). Sum total of the goods and services produced in the economy during an accounting year is called GDP. A worker or an individual engaged in production activity contributes to the process of GDP by rendering his services to the society. So the basic concept related to worker, we have understood the individual who is doing some productive employment to earn living. And GDP, when we have learned, it is that sum total of the goods and services produced in the economy during an accounting year. Next comes economic activities. All such activities which contribute to gross national product through production of goods and services are called economic activities. Workforce, when we talk, student, persons who are engaged in economic activities are termed as worker and they constitute the workforce. Workforce is the total number of persons actually working. In other words, workers are employed because they get employment in various types of economic activities in the economy. The employment situation in an economy depends on how many persons get opportunities to work in different economic activities. The basic reason for the workforce, that is for having the employment. Types of workers, students. Now another concept of this chapter we must know, that is type of workers. What is the worker, student? There are two types of worker. One is self-employed and one is hired workers. When we know about self-employed, people who are not working under someone, they are working for themselves and are employed for themselves. It is known as self-employed. The people who work in their own business profession and get profit as their reward are said to be self-employed. Self-employment is a major source of livelihood for both men and women. Hired workers. Those people who are hired by others and are paid wages or salary as a reward for their services are called hired workers. Hired workers can be of two types. One is casual workers, second is regular workers. Casual workers, when we talk, students, those people who are not hired by their employees, on a regular or permanent basis and do not get social security benefit like PF, gratuity. Likewise, after the retirement, they are not having social future any type of source of income, are said to be casual workers. Example: construction workers account for 33% of total workforce. Definitely, dam construction, bridge construction work of the government are completed by the casual workers, because there are persons who are not hired by their employers on a regular permanent basis and do not get social benefits. Regular workers, those people who are hired by their employees on a regular basis and get social security benefit like pension, are said to be regular workers or regular salaried employees. For example, teachers, chartered accountants, doctors, these will be regular workers. Labor supply, yes, doctor will be coming in profession, but they are serving the society. Labor supply, labor workforce. What do you mean by labor supply? Supplies here constitute how many people are there for the job. Labor supply refers to the amount of labor that workers are willing to offer corresponding to a particular wage. Okay. Labor force refers to the number of people who are able to work and willing to work. Labor force is different from workforce. Labor force include those people who are willing to work but cannot get work, that is, who are unemployed. In other words, labor force equals to workforce plus number of people who are willing to work but are unemployed. Okay, so that is labor force. So they here constitute labor force, workforce plus number of people who are willing to work but are unemployed. Both will be coming in the category of labor force. Rate of unemployment, the next term, important term of chapter. Rate of unemployment, if we want to calculate, it depends on number of unemployed person divided by labor force into 100. Then we will get the number, and then we will get the rate of unemployment. Workforce participation rate or ratio. Participation ratio equals to workforce divided by total population into 100. It will be getting the participation ratio, where population is defined as the number of people who reside in a particular locality at a particular point of time. Participation ratio is defined as a percentage of total population which is actually participating in productive activity. It is also called workers' population ratio. It indicates the employment situation of the country. A high ratio means that more proportion of population is actively contributing to the production of goods and services of a country. So that is the participation ratio, student. It must be high. If it will come high, it shows a population is actively contributing to the production of goods and services of a country, which result in high economic growth. Next, size of workforce in India. The data on the size of workforce in India are as follows. India has workforce of about 400 million persons. Out of these, 70% of workforce is in rural areas, about 3/4 of these 400 millions, and 30% is in urban areas. Men from the majority of workforce in India, about 70% of the workers are men and 30% are women. Women workers account for 1/3 of the rural workforce, whereas in urban area there are just 1/5 of the workforce. So that is size of workforce in India, student. The data on the size of workforce in India are as which reveals the data. It is past data, student. India has workforce of about how much? 400 million persons. Out of this, how many works? 70% of workforce is in rural area, about 3/4 of this 400 million, and 30% is in urban areas. Men from the majority of workforce in India, about 70% of the workers are men and 30% are women. The data reveals that bulk of workforce in rural based. Even if 2/3 of workforce is in rural India, they contribute a very little to GDP. It showed their low productivity. Low productivity means low income and more poverty. The percentage of women workers is generally low. It is more low in urban areas. Now it is changed, because now opportunities for both men and women, and we can see in practically both are working together. So women workers do job because of their poverty. Now there are working job. It was the basic data which is revealing after the independence. Now if you see the women workers, they are not only working for poverty problems but also for getting self-esteem in the society. But in urban areas, if the woman is not well educated, it is not possible to get reasonably good productive job. In urban areas, doing low paid job is generally not allowed to women workers. That is why percentage of women workers are low in urban areas as compared to rural areas. So this was the topic, student. Workforce in India. We have size of workforce in India. What it reveals that men and women both are participating for forming the workforce in India, but as compared to men, workforce number of women are very less. There are two basic reasons, because in rural area women work to reduce the problem of poverty, but some restrictions are to them also. In urban areas, women are working, but low educated women are not working because family members don't allow them to work for a low salary. Rate of participation in India. The data on rate of participation of people in employment is as follows. Rate of participation for the urban areas is about 34%. Rate of participation for the rural area is about 42%. In urban areas, rate of participation is about 52% for men and 14% for women. In rural areas, rate of participation is about 53% for men and 30% for women. Overall rate of participation in the country is about 40%. The data reveals that participation rate in rural areas is higher than in urban areas. It is because people in rural areas have limited resources to earn a higher income. In rural areas, many do not go to schools, colleges and other training institutions. Even if some of them go, they discontinue in the middle to join the workforce. Whereas in urban areas, a considerable section is able to study in various educational institutions. Urban people have a variety of employment opportunities because they are educated, so they can get the work in every field. They are able to look for an appropriate job to suit their qualification and skill. But in rural area, people cannot stay at home as they are economically poor and they have to wander from place to place in search of jobs which match to their qualification. As they are low qualified, because of that it is very difficult to them to get a good job matching to their qualification. Participation rate for women is higher in rural areas as compared to urban areas. Why? Because here to shorten the problems of poverty of the home, generally women come out for doing the job. It is because in rural areas, poverty forces women to seek employment. Without education, women in rural areas find only less productive jobs and get low wages. In urban areas, men are able to earn high income, so they discourage female members from taking up jobs. It can be concluded that there is underestimation of women workers in our country. Now the topic is self-employed and hire workers in India. The data on self-employed and hire workers is as follows. According to region, rural and urban, 42% of workers are self-employed and 58% of workers are hired of urban areas. 56% of workers are self-employed and 44% of workers are hired by rural areas. According to gender, the data reveals 51% of male workers are self-employed, we can see ourselves, and 49% of male workers are hired workers. Okay. 55% of female workers as compared to male, 55% of female workers are self-employed. They are doing the jobs in their own home, like stitching and tailoring or pickle making. So there are more number of self-employed. As 45% of female workers are hired, because as the comparison they are matching to the qualification, they are not able to easily get the job. The data reveals that self-employment is more in rural areas than in urban areas. It is because in urban area people are skilled and work for job in offices and factories. But in rural areas people work in their own farm, and also non-farm job opportunities are not much for the urban areas. For the rural area, Self-employment and hired employment are equally important for male workers, but female workers give preference to self-employment than to hired employment, which is because women both in rural and urban areas are less mobile and thus prefer to engage themselves in self-employment. It can be concluded that self-employment is a very important source of livelihood for people in India. Now also basically you can see around yourself, people more and more from home also and at the shops also are self-employed. They don't want to prefer to go to offices, they prefer to have the self-employment. Next class we will be going to learn student occupational structure or distribution of workforce by industry. Today so many concepts we have learned, today so many things we have learned. Just go through it and make the notes for the particular chapters and the topic. Next class we will be going with the more employment and unemployment opportunity. Thank you for today's class. Have a nice day.